I'm Holden Douglas here at Crypto.com Arena, where the Kings defeated the Utah Hockey Club 5-3. After winning the Four Nations face-off for Team Canada, Doughty came in ready to play. He had a goal and dished out 2 assists. However, the biggest play of the night came from Alex Laferriere, who hit the goal to give the Kings the lead in the game. Let's hear what both players had to say about their big plays.
Four Nations, that level of pace. Did tonight's game almost feel like a step back in terms of pace from that tournament?
I mean, with the pace, yeah. But I mean, I just had an advantage and everyone's still playing throughout the break. But the boys showed up, we played well, and good team game, good team win.
Obviously for you, offensively, your best game of the year, but just comparing where you were in that first game in Florida to where you're at now, I mean, how much further ahead are you right now?
Much further. I'm getting really close to feeling like myself. I mean, I expected to be myself that first game in Florida, and it did not work out that way at all. So, you know, you got to look at it like, I don't know why I expected that. I was out for so long, but I knew it was going to take a little bit to get back, and hopefully I'm on the upward trajectory.
How much did the Four Nations bring you up to speed, bring you further up to speed as you know, things now start to get rolling along?
It helped me a ton. I was forced instantly to you know, get up to speed. That was a faster game, and you know, didn't love my first game against Sweden, but after that I got locked in and played 3 good games to finish it, and yeah, that was super key to be able to play in that. I did not need another 10 days off.
That's kind of the logistical side and the emotional side. Did it invigorate you for this game and I guess for the stretch
That
run?
too. You know, when I first came back, I'm not going to lie, I was lacking a little bit of confidence because I wasn't playing the way I wanted to play, and you know, making that team gave it to me, and then when I proved to myself, you know, I can still play with those big boys, made me feel really good about myself, and came back here just excited to go on this playoff stretch.
Drew, John Cooper talked about you were the one guy that he really wanted to get to, though. I'm just wondering what type of connection that you guys were able to make over a short period.
He's a great coach, man. Really good. The way he speaks in the dressing room, his tactics, everything. Great guy, and he's really personable with the guys off the ice, which was really cool to see.
They said his speech was really key before the big game.
Who said that?
Cooper. I heard.
All his speeches were good, man. He keeps you dialed in. I don't even know how to explain it. He doesn't like yell or talk very loud, but he keeps you dialed into his speeches, and I'm sure that's why they had so much success in Tampa.
As badly as you wanted to play in that tournament, are you surprised at the intensity overall, considering where it was in the year?
No, because we didn't play you know, Canada versus USA, Canada versus Sweden for like so long. Like the last time, I don't even know when it was, but it seemed like years ago. So I expected that coming in. I expected everything that came at me, but came at us. But it was just a great tournament.
Your new partner, Joel Edmondson, how do you like that look, and how do you like playing with him?
Yeah, we were great tonight. I really like it. Eddie's steady back there, talks a lot. I went up to him when we were after the handshake line thing we do, and just said, I love playing with you. So hopefully that partnership continues, and we grow and get better and better.
On the laugh goal there, how much of that was you getting the puck out, and how much of that was you peeking and seeing him?
That was full
ahead?
I was gassed. That was full just flip the puck out. Honestly, I did not see laugh at all, so that was lucky apple.
Great pass.
Take it.
Yeah. Looked good.
Yeah, it looked great.
That's awesome.
All right.
Thank you. I was just telling the media that pass, he was kind of trying to dump it. And you happened to find your stick. Were you thinking he was passing to you, or did you know what you were picking up?
A little bit of both. I mean, like, I knew earlier in the shift he tried it, and then I knew he was out there for quite a while, so I knew he was just going to try and get it out of the zone. So I cheated a little bit, but luckily it paid off. So we'll act like it was meant to be. So
there's always a degree of uncertainty coming off a break. What did you do well today? What do you feel like the team still has to improve on?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we just kept it simple was the main part. Obviously, they were going through the same thing, so you kind of just want to try and limit mistakes, and I think we definitely had a little too many mistakes, so I think just try and clean that up for the future. But like Jimmy was saying before the game, I think the first 4 or 5 games out of break, everybody's going to be a little rusty like the beginning of the season. So as long as we can get to that game sooner than the other teams, we'll be in a good spot.
Is there anything you try and do in particular when you know there's going to be that rust? You might be a little sloppy. Is there any way you try and change your game, or you just try and play it like usual?
I think at the start of the game, you know, just try and keep it simple, not try and overhandle the puck, kind of make quick plays and support each other. And then I think as the game goes along, you kind of ease into the game a little bit more and are able to make a little bit more plays. So I think we did that tonight.
On play late in the second period, there's about 5 seconds left. You could have maybe veered off, but you go in and draw that delay game. What was your mindset, you know, on that play to do what you did there?
Yeah, honestly, I had no idea how much time was left in the period. So, I mean, I just tried to get it out of the zone at the start, and then I saw that I could have potentially gotten a breakaway or get a little break there. So I was just trying to catch up to the puck and, yeah, just kind of put pressure on it. And then I think the goalie shot it out, so start the period with a power play.
Another strong performance from your line. I know we've talked about it a lot in the past, but does it feel like you guys are starting to find even more chemistry and maybe have another level you guys can reach?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, kind of towards the end there when we were thrown together, we didn't really have much practice time. So, you know, you kind of resort to the games to try and build chemistry and get a feel for each other. And now I think since we had those practices coming back from break, we were able to kind of learn each other a little bit more in the practices, and I think that translated well tonight.
Does that help in particular with a guy like Kevin, who is very unique? He's kind of he's a creative player, but he kind of makes plays that not a lot of other guys do. So that chemistry become extra important when you're playing with someone like him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I played with him a little bit with Phil too, so I kind of knew little tendencies that he had. So yeah, but I think just practice getting those rushes, kind of. We focus on different things like in-zone play and stuff like that, so it kind of gives you different areas of the game, and yeah, I definitely feel a lot more comfortable.
There was a good amount of power play work yesterday. Jimmy said a few areas emphasized the zone entry, the puck movement looked really crisp. Maybe a good night for that unit progress-wise?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the first one we had really good puck movement. I think the second one we kind of were fumbling it a little bit there, but yeah, I think that'll happen sometimes. So yeah, but it was really nice to get on the board there.
Yeah, Alexander, you talked about your goal there. Drew said that he was gassed on that play. It said he was just flipping it out.
Yeah.
He didn't see you. Do you believe him?
I don't know.
Because it sure looked like he might have.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of think that Dewey doesn't see something.
After hearing from the players, let's hear what Coach Hiller had to say about the team's rhythm after their first game back from the break.
Before we get started, hopefully Jesse's watching. I don't know if he is. I know he loves hockey, so there's a good chance that he is. I think all of us in this room here together, Jess, everybody's here. You probably can't see them, but I think all of us can agree. We want to just send you best wishes and let you know we're thinking about you through this time. And we'll see you back at the rink soon. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's hear it for Jesse.
Jim, kind of felt like maybe an odd game to evaluate. It seems like you guys were really skating well, but chances were really back and forth. What did you kind of see there?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the execution was great. That was the concern. Thought we skated really well early. They, you know, and then we kind of were hanging on. They had a little bit. They didn't have much of the first two periods. The third period, they were better than us. We were hanging on a little bit. But listen, we'll take it. You know what I mean? We're not going to overanalyze it. First one out of the gate, won the game. We'll take it. We weren't bad, but just, you know, always want more.
After the break, isn't it a little tough though to expect a really quick start like nothing's happened?
It is. I mean, it's easy to expect it. It's hard for the players to execute it, I think. When I go back to the game, I think it was against Edmonton out of the Christmas break, there was like 4 days there where nobody did much. And that was an unbelievable game. The execution was good. It played at a really high level. I didn't think we hit that tonight.
Jim, Drew's played a lot of minutes naturally in the games with you guys. But how much is tonight and just a pure example of the fingerprints that he can leave all over a game?
Yeah, it was clearly his best game. I thought the first game that he really looked like himself. You know, we ran him quite a bit before he left. he didn't look completely comfortable. I thought tonight he really looked comfortable. And what I liked when you look at those minutes, those guys were, I think, between 21 and 22, the four of those guys, you know what I mean? So nobody got ran too hard there. And they're all capable of playing more minutes than that. We've seen that before. So we'll see what that minute distribution looks like. But yeah, I thought Drew was really good. One of his, you know, as good as I can even remember going back to last year. That would have been one of his, probably his top 10 games.
So how much does does that Four Nations, and he even said that's something that really helped bring him up to speed. Sort of how much does that help and help you guys even going forward here when you're having someone that's, you know, peaking even though he missed as much time as he did?
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at it like this. It was really good for Drew. I think it certainly looked like it really worked out well for Team Canada. But I think, you know, in the end, we're probably the biggest benefactors, just getting him back in the rhythm that he is in. And yeah, he's a really important player for the organization, and we know that. But I just, yeah, it felt good. We were all commenting like, wow, okay, we forgot, and we've missed that. You know, that kind of game from Drew. So
how do you describe how much he has been improved since then? I mean, in what ways do you see that it looks like it's so much better?
He looked just really calm for me. He looked really calm. He looked quick. He just looked like he just has a rhythm. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, clearly he's in better shape than when he left, and he just found his rhythm, you know. And that's coming a lot quicker. I talked to Blakey about it. We were like, it's probably going to be 20, 25 games to really see him play like we expected him to play and like he's played it many times before. I saw that tonight. So hopefully the Four Nations thing really got him over the top and accelerated.
He said he really liked playing alongside Joel Edmondson. Are you looking for a permanent kind of partner for him at this point, or is it just going to be just seeing what clicks the best for him?
I mean, nothing's ever permanent around here. I think you guys know that. But, you know, no, we see that. We like those guys. And they're almost interchangeable, those four, really are. At different times you'll see them together. But I think we like, Mikey and Gabby have, you know, had a good season together. So it doesn't feel like it makes a lot of sense just to break that up because Drew's back. Drew can play with Eddie. You know, Drew will get his minutes. He has important minutes. So, you know, at the four of them like that, you know, gives us a really, really strong foundation back there. So we'll see where it goes, but we kind of like the four of them as they're distributed now.
Jim, you talk about minute distribution. For Drew Doughty, that's only 21 minutes in a game. Was that just a consequence of a quick turnaround time for the Four Nations, or is there a plan to maybe be more cerebral and not have him play those 25-plus minutes a night we're used to? Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there'll be times that he gets that, but I think, you know, we ran him pretty hard before, but Mikey was out. So Mikey and Gabby have been playing, you know, 25, 27 different nights. I think you'll just see Smitty spread those a little bit more between them, but I don't think you'll see one guy at 28 and the other guys at 18, 19, 20. I think they'll probably be a little bit more balanced than we've seen in past years.
Jim, with Alex Laferriere, he gets that big goal for you, but there's also that play late in the second, with that hustle play. How much does that just embody like what he brings to your group?
Yeah, that's really impressive. There's a lot of things that happen over the course of a game, some nice goals, nice plays and everything, but that's probably the moment that sticks out for me. You know, that's a player that you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? That's one of those moments where you're like, that's impressive. That time on the clock, that effort. Draws a penalty out of the whole thing, right? Yeah, I don't know what to say, but I'll tell you what, coaches notice something like that.
On the opposite side of the minutes, Brent Clark only had, I think, 7 shifts, a little over 5 minutes. Is there something you didn't like about his game earlier that caused that, or what was the decision behind that?
I mean, it's hard with 7D, so it's hard to balance the minutes with 7D because you unfortunately, one guy's there as a support, and depending on how the game plans out, there's just different things that can happen within the game, but sometimes the downside of 7 is if you play one guy too much, then you play somebody else, and now you've got 2 or 3 guys, or 2 guys, maybe 3, that are out of their rhythm. So it becomes, okay, who's going better? We want to keep one guy in better rhythm than the other guy, and you know, tonight that's just the way it shook out.
And obviously the objective 1, 2, and 3 for this team is to win hockey games, but is there any concern that usage with him, if it becomes more consistent, could harm his development, especially with how important he should and can be for this team moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd use the word harm, and I don't know, like, Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would use the word harm develop. We don't want Clarkie playing 5 minutes a night. That's really obvious. That's for sure. That's not. I don't think that's good for a young player at all, right? So what's better? What are the alternatives? You know, get in and play 15 or 12, and you know. So we'll just see.
Coach, you look at Fialo's game. Looked like he didn't miss a beat from where he left off before the break.
Yeah, he was dangerous, right? I mean, he was really dangerous. And the one on the backhand, he hit the post. We've talked about Kevin quite a bit. I don't want to talk to him about him too much more, but I think we're going to see, like, you know, we've seen flashes over 2 seasons, I think, or 2.5 seasons now, of him being like a really, really consistent, dangerous threat. I think we'll see that the rest of the way.
Coach, 45th anniversary of the Miracle today.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
Do you
remember
have
watching
any,
that game.
what
I
do you
remember
remember?
watching that one, yeah. Oh, it was incredible. Yeah, it was incredible. Because at that time, I think, you know, of course we were going for Canada. I was Canadian, but I remember watching that whole tournament, and I watched against the Swedes. It was Buddy Baker. Remember the slap shot? Somebody scored late to tie it. That was early in the tournament, and they started building. But do I got that right? Probably got the name wrong. And 80, so I was 11.
Right.
And I just remember pulling for the Americans so much, and it just felt like the North America versus the Russians
exactly.
at that time, because you know
Different
the
world.
U.S. was representing all of us. I thought at that time. Incredible! What a game! What a moment! Yeah.
Jim, obviously a big one today for the team, but there's a big event, you know, here tomorrow. Knowing what's going on with the celebrity game and all the funds being raised for the fire, how important is it for everybody to kind of come back here tomorrow and have a big day for the organization?
I think it's really good. And I think, you know, what happens, we all went through it in our own way, and then like happens, life goes on and everybody moves on to these other things. And I think it's great that we have the opportunity to go back, thank, respect, think back to what happened and how bad it was, and just at least show us, you know, in another way, show some support, raise some funds for sure. And of course, we got a terrific lineup, players, celebrities coming in. I think it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great hockey day, and obviously, you know, the funds that are going to be raised are going to the right people, the right causes.
One more thing about the 4 Nations. From a coach, I mean, you probably just holding your breath, please nothing happen to my guys, right?
That's priority one.
Yeah, and then at the same time, are you surprised at the amount of passion that came together so quickly for this thing?
No, not at all. And I don't think any of us should be, or we wouldn't be sitting in here. We know what hockey players are made of, and that's why we're all sitting in here, because to be around it and to feel it is a pretty, to cover it, to talk about it, write about it, it's pretty cool, because these guys they're impressive.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't surprised.
Jim, Laferriere mentioned you told the guys that maybe it was going to take 4 or 5 games for the league as a whole to get up to speed again after that break. Is there any change in message from you for those 4 or 5 games to maybe simplify things and play a different game or anything?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll help laugh there on that one. So I think, you know, it's going to take 4 or 5 games. Everybody will get back up to speed, and the league's going to get tight. And just as we left off, people are playing. So there's an opportunity for some teams to try to get ahead of that 4 or 5 games, and if we can tighten it up a little quicker than other teams, then I think we give ourselves an advantage over those 4 or 5 games. Then once you hit that mark, everybody's playing and everybody's ready again. So the message is, over this next 4 or 5, let's put extra focus, let's spend more time, let's do it together and try to just get a little jump on the league. Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
And Jesse was watching.
He was? All right, great.
Awesome.